We are in the studio. I was about to ask our guest what he wants to be, what his introduction should be, but then I said to him, in the manner of the way he performs his comedy, I go to him, "Where are you holding?" What an amazing line. Where are you holding?
Yeah, I came here for Modi's podcast, and I hear, "Where am I holding?" I'm like back in 10th grade in my Rebbe's class.
That's how Jews talk to each other. Where are you holding?
What does that mean?
It means a million things. It means like, where are you? Like sometimes when you're in the middle of your prayer, where are you holding? Like, are you in the first part, in the Shema? Are you by Avos? Are you about to do? Are you in a place where you can't talk? So you go, Or where are you holding in general? Are you,
Right.
are you dating?
Exactly.
Are
I was gonna say that. Where are you holding could just as easily mean like, what are you up to in davening, or did you break up with that girl I really didn't like? That's like either of those could mean where are you holding. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's good. Yeah, or in your career, where are you holding in your career? What's going on? What are you doing? You're a comedian. You caught my eye. Well, you had that one clip where you talked about me.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best thing ever.
What was it? Wait, can we start? Hi, hello, welcome to the show.
No, we are
way
fully
past you,
in.
Periel. You're just gonna be playing catch up.
We are seriously, like, literally, we're by Shema right now. That's where we are. We're in the middle of the prayer right now.
Oh, I didn't put on tefillin today. I just remembered.
You didn't put on tefillin today?
No. Or do you have?
No, I do in the morning.
All right, you guys.
And by morning, 1 a.m. 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So he had a video where he was talking about being a comedian, a Jewish comedian, and he's at a Shabbat table, and the conversation always goes to
Every single Shabbos table I ate at, like for the past like 2 years, it's always like, wait, so like, what do you like charge for a show? First, they try to figure out how much money you have. Right, that's how they do it. It's only appropriate if you're like a performer for some reason. Anytime I'm like, and how much money do you make? Like, that's disgusting. How would you ask me that? You're like a Nebuch comedian, so I can ask you how much money you make. And then the second they find out that, they always go like, "Do you know Modi? you know he's gay, right?" And I said, "Yeah, but I don't think he charges extra for that."
And that was the funniest thing I heard. It was such a great line, and you could just see him sitting on a Shabbat table with some balabus sitting there with his wife. "You gotta try my wife's challah. Try," and then he starts with "You're a comedian." I talk about that in my show now. I talk about like coming up in comedy and how like when you're Jewish, it's different. Because like when you're not a Jewish comedian, they're like, "Oh, you're doing comedy. Good for you. Good luck. Take care of that." Jews are like, "Oh, really? So is that all you do?"
Is that all you do?
Is that all you do?
I wish I got that. Well, I got I get a lot more like, "So what do you do?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm a comedian." And they're like, no, like I'm saying like professionally, what do you do?
Right. They can't handle that you're making a living,
doing something fun.
Not doing something fun, but doing something that I've never met a Shabbos table dad that isn't 100% positive that if they didn't have to pay yeshiva tuition, they also could have been a comedian.
What you call Shabbos?
A Shabbos table dad.
A Shabbos table dad.
Yeah, it's like an 8-pack
Shabbos table dad.
And for those of us who do not know what a Shabbos table dad is.
A Shabbos, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, a Shabbos table dad is your lawyer and your accountant. Like anyone, you don't have to be Jewish to know a Shabbos table dad. They're all in your life some way or another.
It's a guy who's hosting a Shabbat. His wife has they have a big table and he has guests and people show up and someone invited a comedian. I do not go to Shabbat table. I don't go. We don't do that anymore.
Okay.
We can't.
Because but you can relate to what I'm saying.
I can relate to anything you are going through. I've been through it 30 years ago and beyond.
Oh my gosh.
Beyond.
So
whatever gig you think you've done that's firmer than I've performed in audiences of Hasidim where there was a wall down the middle. And the guy in Yiddish says to me before I go on, "Kick nicht da rein the Eugen von the Weibeschiel." Don't look in the eyes of the women's shul. Right? Like perform, even though you're in the middle, perform to the men. So you've made a niche. Niche, am I saying that right? Niche of performing for the yeshivish crowd.
Yeah.
It's more than just Jewish. It's like, and it's more than just like a young Israel Jewish. It's yeshivish. It's a little more.
It's a little different in that I always say like when you play for like the more modern or the less like the more secular crowd, the more you could be like dirty, the more you can curse or whatever. But the more what he's saying yeshivish or religious a crowd, the less you can curse, but the more offensive, the more racist you could be. So you have to balance those two things.
Right. Yeah. Look, I've seen you when you're talking about like the different girls in different yeshivas, like some are better looking and some are not better looking, which is not a nice thing to say. But as long as you're not saying the S word or the F word, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You're completely okay. Yeah.
So you can't curse, but you can be super offensive.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
You can be totally offensive.
They love that.
They love it. First of all, it shows that that you know that they know that you know that they know.
Right.
There's that whole bit that you're in the know of them in the know. But it's super niche. Like you can't go up at the Comedy Cellar and do this material. Do you have another act like
Come closer to the mic.
Sorry. So I actually disagree. Like I've been doing like more recently a couple like club gigs. And that's my favorite kind of show because I find that Jewish audience, especially Orthodox audiences, they don't come to a show, meaning regular people just go to a comedy show to laugh and have fun, and they're on the same team as the comedian. Orthodox Jews tend to go to comedy shows to find out if the comedian's funny. So like it's hard to get into a rhythm. I'm sure you had this with the Orthodox gigs where like, even if a joke's funny, they laugh, they take a break. Okay, let's see what you have next. It's like that kind of vibe. And I love the club type shows where
I'm assuming you do different material at the clubs than you're doing in front of
So I have like generic material like about the subway, New York City, but I also am able to adapt the Jewish material and trafe it. Meaning you could do
making it not kosher, but you're also doing these shows with other comedians that are like you. That's why I'm so happy that this is happening. You guys are taking like clubs and doing it a night of you and who are the other comedians that
so like me, Ami Kozak, Eli Leibowitz,
Mikey
Greenblatt.
These are all comedians that are like super niche-y and super, and I love it. And
So that's there's two different models. Like one is I'm trying to make the comedy club experience for Orthodox Jews, where it's like, I'm not a theater comedian type of person. Like I would love to do that one day, but I enjoy the authenticity of club comedy. I like a comedy club. So I've turned, like I go to the Five Towns and I'll take a tiny little restaurant and I turn it into 100-person comedy club venue. And then I bring in 4 or 5 comedians and I feel like it's like I'm teaching Jews, like this is what a comedy club is.
And do you like to do it like Orthodox Jews are coming to see this?
And so these are like pop-ups, clubs in Orthodox communities.
Okay.
Like what my dream is not that. My dream is to make like the Ari Shafir like special Jew, where like you take Jewish concepts and you take Jewish culture and you explain it to non-Jews, and the explanation itself is the comedy. Right? So like I could show you 2 different versions of the exact same joke I have, where one's for an Orthodox audience, where let's say I have this joke about a mezuzah in my apartment, and my dad comes into my apartment and he sees my mezuzah and he's very upset because my mezuzah is low, and according to Jewish law, the mezuzah is supposed to be closer to the ceiling. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to move the mezuzah, and I'm just like, by the way, Abba, there's an entire bag of cocaine in my mezuzah right now, and I do that exact same joke for a non-Jewish crowd, and I just add a bit at the beginning.
Do you explain what a mezuzah is?
Yeah, I'll be like, I have to explain something to you. Jews, we have something called a mezuzah. It's a little box, goes on the wall. There's a dead goat with the holiest part of the Old Testament written inside, wrapped in a scroll, provides protection into the entire Jewish home. And then I'll like turn to a non-Jew and be like, you watch the news, it doesn't always work. Something like that.
Funny.
That's
so
funny.
You the exact same joke, you trafe it up. And that's what I'm trying to do with everything. I'm trying to do it with Jewish dating, shidduchim. That's the term for Jewish dating. I'm trying to do it. My comedy is very focused on my point of view. Meaning I grew up in, like my dad was a big rabbi. I grew up in his house and all the craziness that comes with being in like this big family, big rabbi's house. The house was always flying. And I think I'm able to capture that culture and that narrative, but really make it relatable to obviously Orthodox Jews, I think secular Jews for sure, but hopefully one day just the whole world.
I love it.
Amazing. Let's get back to your dad. So your dad is a huge rabbi, right?
He's a big rabbi. He's a very special guy.
What was his YU?
I mean, he was a Rebbe in YU. And he is a Rebbe in YU. And
still.
And he has a big Orthodox shul in New Jersey.
Which one?
It's called Beth Abraham. Shout out Beth Abraham.
Familiar with it?
Yeah. Oh, you did a show for us actually once. You did a Zoom show during COVID.
Yeah.
You have to understand. This is when I realized I was going to be a comedian, because every Orthodox Jew goes to a comedy show, looks at the comedian and goes, "I could do this," right? And none of them can. And none of them actually want to go through the 50 open mics you have to do to even get one show.
Sure.
I can't tell you how many people on WhatsApp send me like, hey, I got to vent out. Like, I could definitely be a comedian, but I have 8 kids and 4 of them are in yeshiva and I have to work. But like, can I just send you concepts and premises I have? And so they send them to me and they're horrible but I will tell you one thing. I can give you whenever someone has a joke for you or something, listen to it.
Yeah.
The Jews are funny people. I've done shows where people go, I have something for you. Always listen. You've no idea when it's going to be like a gem, like a gift from God. Like God sent him as the messenger to give you this joke.
The problem is that what happens is, and I've seen this with you actually, I hear this from people, like a Jew will come up to you and be like, yeah, I have a great bit for you. They'll be like, mother-in-laws. I'll be like, what's the joke? They're like, I'm not gonna do the whole thing for you. Like, you have to figure it out. Like,
right.
Wait.
But now every joke I make about mother-in-laws, the rest of my life, he's going around telling everyone in his community, I write all Dovie stuff. I've heard about. I know a guy once gave Modi a joke. He tells me, I write all Modi stuff. I write the whole thing.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. No, there's a few guys that I call when I run my material. I have a few friends that I will call up and like, my friend Brian Gross, he's a Flatbush guy. If I have a premise, I'm working it out, I call him and I'll run it through him. If he's in a good headspace, we back and forth. Problem is, he always goes to Holocaust. Like, how can he make this Holocaust?
Yeah,
and then we reel that back, and then we work it out. And food, and like he makes it. He's good. I run it off of him. He doesn't call me with premises and stuff, but I'll call him and work things out with him. And there's other people who work like. But I will tell you, one time I did a gig. It was for it was all Hasidim.
Okay.
It was on a boat. That was going to go around Manhattan.
What's with Hasidim and boats? They love boats.
But listen to what happened. The engine was broken, so it never left the dock. And no one cared, and no one even realized that we never left the dock. So it's a boat full of Hasidim. There was kosher catering, meat like the Beis HaMikdash, like they were doing sacrifices. There was so much meat and barbecuing on the decks, and they were smoking weed too. And it was all guys, Hasidim, full blown. And they had Dovie Neuburger was playing. You know the singer?
No.
One of my favorites. So he was the act after me. Now usually if you're on a boat, you're stuck.
Right.
You're stuck. So you do your act and you go around, you have to stay on the boat so they leave. I could have left it, but I stayed and hung out with Dovie and we listened to it. I was having a great time. But I'm in the middle of my act and I see everybody's laughing. I had them all. It was an easy crowd. They were so good. They were dying for this. They were so happy. Modi's here. He's not Hasidic. He's going to be maybe dirty. And one guy
Hasidim love dirty comedy.
One guy in the middle just stops laughing just and looks at me like this. And like, he's tense. I'm like, I don't know what happened. Okay. The show's over. I go to him and go, what happened? And he goes, I have a joke for you. I have to give you a joke. I have an amazing joke for you. It's in the special. It's that good of a joke.
Oh, yeah?
It's so good. I talk about in the Shiva, how what happened during a Shiva. And but he was holding this, he couldn't focus on the rest of the show. He said,
he was constipated with the joke.
He was constipated with the joke. And he says to me, he goes, people always ask you, where did she have cancer? I say, in Brooklyn. It's such a great line. I put it in. So always listen when people have jokes for you. Always.
No, I definitely use jokes that I've gotten, like either that the premise has been from someone else, or I definitely don't always listen because like
it's a lot.
Yeah.
But wait a second. So you grew up in this religious household, and thank God that you really like paved this way, because before you, to tell like a big rabbi father person that I want to be a comedian, right? It didn't exist.
Orthodox comedy didn't exist because it was just comedy at that point. Like there was Jackie Mason, but he wasn't a comedian for Orthodox Jews.
Right.
He was Jewish.
That was the whole Borscht Belt comedy scene. It was formerly Orthodox Jews going up and talking about their upbringing to the rest of the world. And that was just comedy. Then, I mean, you really did create this niche where,
like, you could point and be like, no, this is a real thing.
Yeah, this is a real thing. And
when ultra-Orthodox audiences decided they wanted to have comedy, I was the only show in town.
Right.
There were some others, but to get more right to the line of jokes about davening, praying, Sephardic Ashkenazi, I did that, and it was great. And I wasn't out of the closet, but I wasn't in the closet. Many
You
of them
just
knew.
didn't talk about
I just
it
didn't
in
talk
your
about
act.
it wasn't in my act. And thank God, even since it's publicly known that I'm gay and I'm married to a guy, I came into how
A Catholic guy at
such
Formerly.
such religious audiences are still calling me.
They don't care.
RCCS, which is like this amazing Hasidic Mashiach Energy organization in Brooklyn that is Hasidic and helps people with cancer. They tried to get me to do a show too. We gave them tickets to raffle and all that, but it's like they get it. They like. It's what it is.
Well, I think funny is funny.
Funny is funny.
And they want a good show and they want a good comedian.
Yeah, no, but it has to be in the right, you have to be in the right aspects of it. When you're doing a show in a Jews need to know how you fit in their world. So now, when you're working in the synagogue, you're on their turf. I'm on their, I'm in your father's shul. There's an umbrella. I'm under Bet Knesset, whatever you want to call it. And then when you're doing an organization, right? I'm doing a show for RCCS or for UJA or for whatever. I'm under their umbrella.
Right.
So you gotta.
I was actually
sure.
Yeah. But when you're doing, but to the opposite is like when you're doing a Modi tour, the room could be full of Orthodox Jews. You don't have to play by their rules at all.
No.
They're coming to your
they're
show.
coming to him.
Yeah.
Right, but I do. First of all, I don't curse. There's no need to ever have nivelpeh. And I'm hoping you don't go there.
Okay, I disagree, but but
so do you curse on stage?
I mean, I want to kill every show. So if it's not going to hit, no. But I do find certain jokes punch hard. Like I haven't done the club circuit in like a long time. I never really made the big club circuit. I was doing like the starter things, Industry Room, Broadway Comedy Club, Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
And I did find certain jokes just punch harder with an F word before the punch, something like that. Or
but when you're deeper into your act, you can't start off with schmutz. Especially when you're young, you can't start off with dirty.
Well, I don't have schmutz because I can't, unfortunately, like, I don't have
schmutz for everybody who's listening.
It's being dirty.
dirty.
You can't drop F and S bombs up front when you're young, because then they think, it's just all he has is he's going to go up here and just say F and S.
No, also then your whole shtick is the guy in the yarmulke that uses the F word, and that's not real comedy. That's
Good
just
for
like
you,
hacky. No,
Right.
I also don't have schmutzy experiences to draw off of, unfortunately. So,
but you can schmutz everything up. I went to the effing synagogue. And
Right.
you don't need that. You don't need that. And especially if you keep it, this I learned in the Catskills. If you want to drop an S bomb, wait till you're 40 minutes in, and then all of a sudden hit them with an S, and they're like, boom.
Totally.
Because they haven't heard it from you, so they just thought you're clean, and all of a sudden, oh wow, look, he did use that word, and it was it's.
Oh, I don't curse a lot. I think the curse has more, like, it's more powerful when you don't, because then it's like, it conveys like, oh, you're actually mad about what you're ranting about right now, which is the whole performative energy I'm trying to convey. I also think that like there are certain things, there's definitely things I get away with later in an act that I would never get away with before the crowd likes me.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning like I have a joke about a sexual harassment training, a Jewish sexual harassment training. I won't say it now because whatever, hopefully we'll make my special one day. But if I started with it's my best joke. I end with it every time and everyone dies.
It's called the closing. It's called the dismount. That's what you're closing with. It's yes.
Right.
Yes.
But if I started with it, I would lose the whole crowd. Like,
Right.
what are you coming here and like giving us dirty jokes?
We just had
Once they're invested in my story.
It's also like even a word can do that, right? Like if you're telling a joke, one word can like suddenly get like the whole audience like tight.
the guest we had before you was David Tell. And he was telling us, he always says, you always start off with something. You're your own, even if you have an opening act, you're still your own opening act. So right now on this tour I'm on, Pause for Laughter, I'm doing this thing with languages up front. It's not where I want to be, but it is so just boom, 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 boom. They're with me. Okay, here's the material I want to do. You're your own opening act. So you definitely don't, whatever your strong thing is to close with, you save it for the end. It's your closing, it's your dismount, you can't open with that if it's that strong.
Right.
You can't.
So I wanted to ask you about this actually, because this is something as a younger comedian, and I talk to younger comedians.
How old are you?
I just turned 29 this week.
29,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. So I think something like when, let's say I watch like Chappelle or Louis or someone, the cadence and the structure of jokes or something like that, like there's buy-in from the audience. They will wait around for 3 minutes for an amazing punchline, right? When there's no buy-in to you as a person, I mean, you have a following at this point, but I'm sure like when you were doing sets when you're 20s or 30s at the Comedy Cellar, who is this guy? Like there's no buy-in. You need to have a punchline like basically like every 25 seconds in order to not lose this audience.
11.
11 seconds.
That's what they say.
So
funny.
I get up there sometimes, I start with my absolute killer best joke, even if I'd want to close with it, because if I don't hit them with that right away, they won't listen to the next 15 minutes.
Okay. So let me give you a piece of advice. First of all, if you are on a showcase type of a thing like that, and you can be in the room when a comedian or two before you, the best way to begin anything is with something completely that just happened. Go off of some punchline that he just got off of.
Right.
Whenever I do an organization, a synagogue, a charity, I make sure that there's a president speaking before me, the rabbi speaks before me, someone speaks before me, and I go something clever off of what they said. So they know it's not something rehearsed or something hacky.
Right.
It's just boom, boom. He just said this and this, blank, 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 and we're in the show. Start your act. When I follow a comedian on stage, I followed someone at the Cellar the other night. He was in 6th gear. I forgot that the comedian he was in 6th gear, and the MC just brought me right around. I go, unlike your other comedian, I'm not on cocaine tonight. And then the whole room is like, okay, he's
right.
And so you're on that.
I love that because that also builds that like rapport with the audience that like it's less perform. This isn't an act. I'm here with you,
right.
enjoying this experience together.
Right. Right. Comics call other comics hacks when they just go up and do the same jokes every night. So it's not, if you're coming with something original, like right off the bat of what just happened at night or what just happened in the news that day, it's great. That's a great way to begin always. Yeah.
So I just wanted to we'll do the Trump weave, as they say. I just wanted to come back to that story that. So I was going into this comedy show it was a Zoom comedy show during COVID for our shul, and we're all in these boxes and Modi's talking, and like it's very funny, but there's no like laughter because everyone has to unmute to laugh and all these things. And you at one point called me out. You're like someone, because there was like an old lady on the screen being like, "Who's the comedian? Where is he?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm Joseph Neuberger at the top. You see the guy with all his hair?"
Oh, really?
And you're making fun of me.
I said that.
And then my mom got on the Zoom. My mom's name is Pesci. And apparently someone just reminded me of this the other week. You were like, "Who the hell is Pesci? What kind of name is that?" And it was like the Rebbitzin of the shul.
Right.
And like, that's when I decided, I was like, I could do this. I did that cliche like Jewish thing. Like I could do this. But like, it actually forced me to sign up for the course, start doing the open mics in the city. I did the course through Gotham Comedy Club, whatever. I forgot what it's called. And then I started producing my own Jewish shows.
Yeah.
I sucked.
No, building it up. It ain't stuck. You're getting there. I'm watching videos now. Leo's posting stuff for me from 30 years ago. I'm like,
They're
oh
so
my
fun.
God, what was I doing?
Do you think that also? Because like, I'm hoping that like I look at, like I'm only doing this 2.5 years. I look at like my first show to now and I'm like, I'm embarrassed by that. And I'm hoping like 40 years from now, I hope I'm embarrassed by, like, that's how good you can get. Like, I'll be embarrassed by the stuff I put out now.
Well, you're putting out stuff that's comedy too, but you're also putting up, you don't forget, I came up with comedy clubs without internet and without.
Right. And I think content is killing real comedy.
I don't know about that. It's packing your room and there's things you do that you don't even realize what you do. When you're doing your shtick on your content shtick, not your stand. I really haven't seen your stand up. I've seen only your stuff that you talk about different things. There's something you do that you probably don't even realize what you do. Comedians sometimes train an audience with different Pavlovian tricks. So back in the day, they had cigars. So when you saw the comic taking the cigar and he's bringing it up and bringing it closer and closer and punchline hits the cigar, the audience is trained. When that cigar comes in, it's the laugh. So if you ever watch Ron White, and if you tell me you haven't seen Ron White, that's a part of your homework. Go see Ron White.
Okay.
Ron White has a drink. He drinks alcohol. He has a little bar and makes a little drink for himself. And he brings that drink closer and closer and closer and closer. And punchline, to drink, the audience is shouting, screaming. Me, it's more, I'm just like action. It's like this, but you have this thing with your hair. that you probably don't even realize it. When you get on whatever rant you're on, whatever Dvar Torah you're giving over, whatever chiddush you're showing us, whatever new thing you've discovered, and then you just like, and da-da-da-da. And so that's why I told her, don't do it. And then you do with your hair like that. If I had that kind of hair, I would be doing it. Hello, right away, you do that.
I didn't even realize that. I know the hair is like a thing, but
it's a thing. Your hair is a live thing. It's a live thing. And so then when you also come on videos, like, and you have the whole hat covering it.
Yeah, you have the hat
upset.
too.
Everyone's upset.
right.
So if you watch a good drag queen, they would do a reveal. So if you're wearing the hood, you're wearing your hoodie up.
Yeah.
In the middle, just like on one of your punchlines, take the hoodie off.
The thing is, like, I'm like very idiosyncratic with my yarmulke or whatever.
Yeah.
And I could post the best joke in the world on my Instagram. Like, if I'm not wearing a yarmulke, the only thing I'll hear from my mom is like, "Where's your yarmulke?"
Give me the yarmulke. So a guy who's teaching Torah, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things you can do is like this. You go, so in this week's parsha, okay, the Sedra says like this. And they begin to just twist their yarmulkes.
Yes.
They begin to twist the yarmulke. And that's why, we're looking at why did Moshe speak to Aaron about this type of Moshe I never met.
I think that's why I picked it up, because I was growing up, anyone who was ever publicly speaking would go like this.
Right.
They'd move their yarmulke a lot. But so I would do that, but I have all this hair that's getting in the way. It's a tick. It's totally a tick.
It's a tick. There's the rabbis that also talk with this talis, and the talis is always falling off. So they're like, bringing it back up and bringing it back up and bringing it back up and bringing it back up. And it's like, it's a tick. It's literally like the comics with the cigar. Many comics now have their water bottle. So they're like...
But you want it to be intentional, right? Like, it's like when you tell me, don't put your foot up on the back of the stage, like... Right? Like if you're going to be moving around or touching your hair or doing the cigar or the yarmulke, you want to be aware of...
No, that you have to be aware. That's happening naturally. That's happening innately inside your head. The thing with the hair, but it just, I'm letting you know that it's a thing. It's a thing. Standing against the wall with your foot on it is just, no one wants to see that. It's not a visually nice thing because you're working. Don't forget you're still up there working.
Right.
Now, do you know why you're doing comedy? Are you on top of the age? Do you know why? Do you know why God made you a comedian? Do you believe in God? First of all, do you
believe in God? Yeah.
Okay, you believe in God.
I think I'm still at the cynical part of my career where I haven't like fully subscribed to Mashiach energy yet.
Mm-hmm. It's okay as long as you know that.
I think my reasons for doing comedy are just the most
shallow. Go ahead, go for it.
I love attention. I've always loved attention. I grew up, my dad was a big rabbi, and my brain learned to be stimulated by people always paying attention to me. And I just haven't experienced, I don't think there's a high in the world. Like I always say, comedy, highest highs, lowest lows. Like you bomb a set, like you could contemplate suicide, everyone. But like when you're just vibing, and I've had those shows where it could be Jewish, non-Jewish. I did a Don't Tell comedy show, totally non-Jewish. I was telling them all about Judaism, and the crowd is just obsessed with you and eating it up. Like there's just no high like it in the world. The dopamine rush is like, it's like every drug ever times 10. And I am not doing this because I'm passionate about making people laugh and bringing simcha to Yidden, all this Mashiach energy bullshit.
I'm so happy. This is the best podcast. I'm so happy.
I want people to look at me, and then I want them to go home, and I want them to talk about me at their Shabbos table. Even if they hate me. Do you hear what he just said about Beis Yaakov girls? I just want to be talked about. It's even more than the money. There's no money in it yet. But like I could sign a deal with Netflix and make millions of dollars for this. I just love the attention.
Okay. That's amazing. He just loves the attention. Wow.
It's a good title for your special.
I love the attention.
It's so funny. Like, and I obviously interface with very chashuv. How do you say chashuv in English? It's not really important. Whatever. Yeah. It doesn't
People that matter.
like I just got off the Pesach program, and this rabbi that I really respect, I won't say his name just in case he doesn't want me to, but I actually asked him for a bracha. I'm still like very in touch with that side of me, and he was giving me this bracha, like
Blessing.
This blessing. You bring happiness to Jews. It's such an important thing to do, and like assuming that I go with this like cliche narrative, which maybe at one point, I hope at one point in my career I will go with it, because I see older comedians who have almost become the monster they create on stage. They've like driven themselves so deep into the cynicism that's necessary to do comedy that I realize, that person's like actually going to die a cynical old man because of his comedy shtick, and I don't want to become that. But right now, I'm just still so cynical about the whole thing because I'm so in touch with like what is motivating me,
but keep in the back of your mind. So when I was coming up, right?
Yeah.
I was all over the place. I was at the comedy clubs. I was at the Comedy Cellar every night, hosting sets every night.
That's where I saw you.
And that's it. And then doing the synagogue gigs, and then doing super Orthodox yeshiva gigs. YU. I did shows in YU for the graduating class. I'm like, I was literally doing YU and Yeshiva University and all of that. And they always introduced me with the same Gemara. I'm sure you know the Gemara.
The guys in Olam Haba.
Right. There's a Gemara. We've talked about this on the podcast. I talked about it on the 100th episode we did. There's a Gemara that says there's two guys that are in the marketplace, and what do they do?
I think like someone asked Eliyahu who here is going to heaven, and they said those two guys, and they were like clowns or something like that.
The next time you try to correct me on a Gemara, I don't care who your father is. When you're on someone's podcast, you let them get through the Gemara. I'm just kidding. No, basically it's two guys
they're
asking who here has chelik and olam haba, which means it's so. And again, they always said, I'm like, oh God, this dumb introduction again, and then I get back on. It's who here has a portion in the world to come, which is so insane. If you understand what we're saying here, who here's done with this lifetime, not coming back here in a different Gilgul. They're not going to be coming back here to try to get it right again. Who here is like, what's the job that we need to do to make sure that we don't have to come back and try it again? And he goes, the two guys over there. And so he goes, who are the two guys over there? He goes, they are anshe bediche, people of laughter, right? And then, so it's all I heard when I was your age. So I got it, right? And then it hit me like how important that is. First of all, I'm not coming back here. I'm done. This is it. There's no next lifetime, and never seen Canal Street again.
You're not interested in seeing it again.
This heat, this weather, it's done. Having to have hair plugs, I'm done. I'm doing this lifetime. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna make people happy and laugh, and I'm done. But believe me, when I was you. It's just attention and
I love it.
It's a dopamine hit. Like it's cocaine. Doesn't
I love
have
being recognized. I just started getting recognized.
Wait for that. That changes too.
Really?
Oh my God, we had a crazy incident on Passover. Anyway, but put that in the back of your mind that you are here for a purpose. And let me tell you something else that's even more important about that. It says anshe bediche, right? Right. We are people of laughter. And now, if the Gemara wants to say that comedians have chelik and olam haba, right, they have a portion of the world to come, he'd say, the guy over there, go ask him what he does. I'm a comedian. Yeah. So why is it two people? Why is it two people? The Gemara doesn't just throw words in for no reason and people in for no reason. It's because don't answer me when you see I'm asking a question that I'm about to answer. What yeshiva did you go to that you're in? You see, I'm answering myself.
Well, I went to a bunch, and that's why I got kicked out of something.
The anshe bediche, you can't do it alone. You cannot do it alone. And it took me years to find that out. You cannot do it alone. You need to have a Leo, like a producer, a manager, the right agent, the right people. You cannot do it alone. So one of them is a comedian. The other guy is the one paying for the comedy show. Is the guy paying for the comedy special. The other guy is Netflix. The other guy is Hulu. The other guy is Moshe Zuchmir, who said to the rabbi, whatever it takes to bring Modi in, I got it. And there's a show. That's the anshe bediche. So not only comedians get a portion of the world to come, it's people who make comedy happen. So keep that in the back of your head. Keep that in the back of your head.
That's a good pitch when I'm looking for an investor for a special, though.
100%. You tell them, we're going to shoot another special, but I said, all those clips you see on all the family chats, do you want to make those happen? Do you want to make those happen? Here, I need X amount of dollars for my special, or I want to do the show here. Or now we have promoters, we have Live Nation, Baruch Hashem, and all of that kind of stuff happening. But it's you need to keep that in the back of your mind. Enjoy every minute of your time now. Know that it's going to hit you. It hit me more. It hit me later on, but COVID and obviously October 7th, when it's really everything was just like solidified of what the reason of doing comedy is. There is, besides the ego, there is a real reason to do it. But in the meanwhile, you're making people happy and making people feel heard and making people feel good, and enjoy it.
So I do get elements of that. Like when I get a DM from someone that's like, by the way, I just want you to know, like you make my day every day, all these things, and like I feel like it a little bit, and I have to check myself. I'm like, Dovie, no, you're a cynic. Like don't let it make you happy that you're making someone's day. But I do feel a little bit of it, like that, just like incredible like feeling of euphoria that like someone's day is made because of a stupid video you posted on Instagram.
Do you know how many times at a meet and greet I'm standing there and a couple comes over to me and the wife says, I go to bed with you every night. And the husband goes, yeah, she watches all of your videos every night before she goes to bed. Every single one of them, she watches all of them. I know the order she watches them. And it's like, it's an amazing feeling. Thank God. Right. Family groups, you get to see, you'll also, because it's a Jewish audience you're hitting, you're going to see 3 generations in one show. You have the grandkids, I have like the grandkids, the mom and the grandma are all at the show. The grandma saw me when I was your age or younger at the Catskills. Right, the mom sees me from whatever and the kid now is coming to see the show at wherever it is, the Beacon or in Florida. It's amazing. It's beyond comedy.
Right, intergenerational.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have grandkids and grandparents at the Pesach program gigs. I don't know if you remember this, but like are usually Holocaust survivors and babies. Yeah, those are like the key demographic.
So So Passover programs, we've spoken about them on the program here. Mm-hmm. You just did. Was this your first year doing Pesach programs?
No, I did one last year, but this was the first year, like really, like I had 4 nights, 4 shows, 4 different cities. Felt amazing.
I did my biggest year was 5 shows.
Really? Because you did like, I guess the night of.
Yeah, I did one time. It was the most insane. It was 5 different locations. It wasn't, now I would only do like everything's in one place, Florida. I'm not flying anymore.
Right.
And this year, I think, is the last year.
You want to tell everybody what that looks like for those of us who have not been to Pesach programs?
So I'll tell you the 2 that I did this year. I did one, which was at the Fairmont in Mayakopa, which I can paint it to you with no problems. Imagine White Lotus and the Pines Fire Island meet. So it's White Lotus. Everybody has like their own villa. There are only 600 people. But all families.
Huge.
Each table is like 30 people of a family. I still don't understand. I don't know where in any forum it says you have to eat all 8 days with your family. I don't know why people 8 days or 9 days with the whole family. It's insane. It's so much time.
I think it's just how the Jewish, like you don't see your family for a year and then spend 8 days with them, you hate them enough, and then you need a whole year to forget how much you hate them.
I don't know I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So Passover's,
so
it's
you
9
fly
days.
with your family, you fly with your entire family to a different location?
No. Yes, there's a resort has taken, some kosher program has taken a resort.
Okay.
And they are now, everybody there is kosher. They made the kitchens kosher. And some of them are huge and some of them are small. Some of them are 300, 600, 1,300. So this year I did only 2. I did this Fairmont Mayakopa because I know the people there and I know they were great. And the other guy I did was the SLS, which is not like this very White Lotus vibey. It was just like, it was a circus. He had 6 different restaurants and he brought 6 different chefs from all over the world. And there were people just having a blast and 1,000 things for the kids. And it was like a different vibe from the other one. And the show is a show for the people that are there. And again, it's like a Catskill thing. I said, it's a show, they're watching a show that they didn't pay for. It came with the room. So
Right.
A, they might not come to the show. B, they might pick themselves up in the middle and just leave the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just got familiar with this whole world.
Yes. I talk about that in my special now. In
Yeah.
the hour I'm working on now, I talk about how, there's nothing harder than a Catskill audience. There's comedians walk around today, that was a rough crowd, it was a really tough room. They were kind of tight till I loosened them up with my crowd work. You don't know what a tough crowd is until you're performing for someone who didn't pay for the show. It came with the room.
Right.
All of a sudden you hear, that's enough. I heard enough. Okay.
Always. Jewish gigs in general, like it's not necessarily a comedy venue. It's someone came to something and now comedy is being forced on me. Sheva Brachos gig is the hardest gig.
You don't
in the
lose her
world.
right now. Go ahead.
What?
She knows what a Sheva Bracha is.
Sorry,
isn't it?
after
It's
7 days, the 7 days of after parties after a wedding. So
Okay.
there's the 7 days after a wedding, there's a party, usually thrown by people, friends of the bride and groom, and you try to do some kind of entertainment. So they'll bring in a comedian. And now here we are, the wedding happened 2-3 days ago. Now we're all sitting at a table. And they say, everybody, to thank God, Baruch Hashem, that Malki and Yossi found each other. And B'ezras Hashem, they should live a long life and they should have banim b'nei banim and binyan adei in Yerushalayim. They should build a home that should be zeichet to be bringing Mashiach and all that. And we should also have joy. They should also have joy. So we brought a comedian, and as you all know, in the Olam Haba, the comedian has a
Exactly
place,
like
and so please help me welcome. And then then they instead of here's Dovie Neuburger. You may know his father's the big rabbi too. He's here tonight, and please give us your attention. And then they start dropping food.
the waiters, the second I get up there,
You'll eventually learn. I should send you some of my old contracts.
mixing drinks, making mojitos in a blender next to me.
In the middle of a joke.
They wait. They let you say the premise right when you hit the punch.
Yeah. Or even worse. So in my contracts, it says there's no wait staff allowed to be on the floor. It's because if you're in the middle of a joke, all of a sudden some woman sees a waiter, right, and the other guy said, waiter. Wait, she's like, just does anybody need anything? Or just bring water. Just do some more water for us. Just you can't.
no. I'm lucky when I do private gigs. I don't have that because I have all of your
My old contracts.
all of your old contracts.
I sent her all my old contracts. What
I'm
to
just
say?
saying.
Absolutely not. This has to be this before this. The sound has to be that. This has to.
Oh,
be
I didn't realize all the technical aspects. Like I've viewed myself like I'm a comedian. Like I'm bringing material. I'm gonna give you a great show.
No,
I didn't
no.
realize that you get to some Jewish gigs and they're like,
Not
So
just
did
Jewish
you-
gigs, any gig.
did you bring a mic? Did you bring a
Right. So
sound?
No,
these
no,
are
no.
things. These are things that when you have somebody like him next to you, you learn that you have to send a list, right? These are the things that you're
I
required.
didn't know this.
So I'll tell you, so one time I did a Sheva Brachas, right? I performed in Sheva Brachas. Yeah, I did all that something like 20 years ago. And the guy said, and you're gonna come here. I go, no, there's no. You have to bring sound. He goes, we don't have sound. I go. He goes, what's the budget for sound? I'm like, it's like $3,000-4,000. And he's like, well, okay, can you arrange that? I'll give you $4,000 in cash. I went and bought that speaker for like $600 with a mic and the whole. You just plug it in,
Right.
and I put it in the back of my car and just put it on the.
That's
thing.
what I'm doing. The back of
That's
my
it.
the thing is
It was $600. I left it there. I left it in the restaurant. I told the maitre d', I have a gift for you. It's upstairs. It's the mic, a stand, and the whole thing cost me $600. And by the way, those things are amazing.
What?
Those speakers.
Well, now you can get them
they're
on
great.
Amazon
It's
for a few
like
$100.
$100. But it's not about the money to me. It's about if I'm looking like a schlepper, if I'm showing up
Right.
to a gig and setting up a mic stand and this and that, no one's laughing at me
No,
anymore.
no.
Right. It ruins the
100%,
whole vibe.
Your whole image.
They,
100%.
they
That's
have to supply that. You need
Right.
listen. There's a whole thing. We can talk about it later. But
They also someone will ask me to do like a Shabbos gig, on Shabbat, and I'm like, sorry, I don't do without a mic. They're like, no, it's a small crowd. Like we'll be able to hear you. I'm like, what do I do with my hands? Like, I don't know. I need to hold something.
No, but
Can't
it's not
tell you,
even that. It's
so I, in my earlier days,
You did with no mic?
when the money was right, when it was crazy money, for me back then, what the crazy money was, I would get them. You have to bring them all really close, where they're so that you have to leave their tables, push the tables away, bring them all close. You're standing in the middle, and just crazy energy. You don't have that crazy energy.
No, so
you're a talker,
Right.
You know, I'm looking at these clips of me from 30 years ago. I'm literally like I'm like a car salesman of jokes. And no, and you can, and 3, and it's got 5 speeds, and the windows are electronic, and you could,
It is like that.
It's
Do
literally.
you remember those? Like, are you watching these and you're like,
I'm in shock, and Leo's sitting there like this. Every time he opens a new file that was downloaded from whatever it was, he's looking at him. I'm like, oh my God, please don't watch that. Oh my God. Oh,
I love
no.
those vintage clips.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
they're
They're
so
so
good.
fun.
If you should see the
They're
ones
like Polaroids.
yeah, and they should see the one that goes, oh my God, we can't post that. That's not how they like to be called anymore. You know? We can't say that. Okay, so yes. Yeah, I did a lot of those gigs too.
So my energy on stage is like I almost model after like Nate Bargatze. Like, I'm an idiot and everything is in this voice always. And the punchlines are great. I trust my material a lot, but I can't bring a room alive like it.
Right.
So I can't do like without a microphone.
Yeah.
I don't have that energy that like you have. Which it's incredible because like, I guess maybe I don't believe in myself that enough that like you like are bringing the room alive. Like, this is so funny. Like, I could do this. I almost like don't trust my jokes enough to do that, I guess.
To put the energy into
Yeah.
it? No, it's a different cadence. Nate Bargatze's your guy. My guy that I watched and his cadence was Alan King. I just
Okay.
loved. Did you ever see his act?
No.
So Google Alan King. Definitely Google Ron White.
Ron White,
You
Alan
need
King.
to watch Ron.
I do
White.
watch a lot of old comedy because I have like once you develop an appreciation for the writing, even though like old comedy doesn't really punch the same way new comedy does because the world is like so much faster, but like I can appreciate it for its time, and you could almost see like the Misora or the tradition of comedy, who came from who. Like, I'm a big Shane Gillis fan now. Like, you could see which of the older comics, like he always talks about Richard Pryor, and you're like, oh, he got that style and developed it into this. And like, it's a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
but you find your style. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, even watching you back then, like you could already see who you are now, right? Like, you could see like the core.
Right. Yeah.
Is-
You can see the voice coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a cadence. There's a voice. There's it's just. It takes years. It's not overnight. It just takes years. You just keep getting on stage and keep doing it.
I do agree that I think that there's nothing more fun than doing stand-up. Although there's one thing you always say, which I
Singing.
think is salient, that when you go into an event, especially like when you've been hired to do something for like a private gig, and you say, why am I here? Like, there's a reason why you're there that you usually don't know.
This is from a Ruchni's point of view.
Okay.
Who?
You know, from a
Spiritual.
spiritual point of view, there's somebody every show you're doing. There's somebody in the audience that needs something. Like, someone there went through hell. Someone there just lost somebody. After every show, now that there's internet and DMs, you get that information.
Right.
Hi, I was at your show. We lost our daughter 6 years ago. This is the first time I ever saw my wife laughed in 6 years. There's a reason you're there. These 2 programs, we were not going to do peso programs this year. We were not. No, because Leo can't. Leo,
Because he doesn't eat gebrachts, right?
He doesn't eat gebracht, but he doesn't.
What is gebracht?
It's when you mix like even a liquidy type of thing with the matzah. Don't let that go. Leo can't watch the Jews eating in that room together. So when we were in Florida, he would just check into the room. He'd do the work with all the promotion people, Live Nation, all that stuff, and he would order DoorDash to the hotel
Right.
because he could not look at those buffets. Miles and miles.
It's
of
legit,
food.
by the
So
way.
now in Mexico, we had no options. But we were, again, the Mexico shows we did this year, the reason we did them, there were a lot of kids that were gay with their families. Like you had a family of like 30 people, aunts, uncles, cousins, and they had like a gay kid and his partner or her partner. And they said, we are so happy you're here. You were such a great part of our lives. And it was a really, really great experience. We had a horrible experience in one of those. One of the people was just, there was an idiot at one of the programs, but we posted a picture of him.
I saw online that he said something homophobic.
Yeah, completely. Like we were done. We were like at the end. We were leaving. It was. I wasn't going to talk about it, but we did the show in front of 1,000 people at the SLS hotel. Now
that's in South Beach.
No. There is one in South, but this was at the Mayakopa.
Okay.
And there's a guy that runs a program. His name is Dovie Neuburger, a full-blown tzaddik. He is a great guy, does these programs, also did, like, whenever you hear the barbecuing for the soldiers, he did all of that stuff. He's just a great guy. And it was him, and I love him, and he was just a great guy. And so he did the program, and I said, if you find me another program there, I'll come down, we'll do both. We did the program for his show, but he's the guy that doesn't understand that less is more. He thinks more is more and get more and more and more and more. Not only did I have a show that night, he decided, let's put on a mentalist before Modi for an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
I thought that was every program. That was every program I did.
It was too much. The room was 1,000 degrees. There's 1,000 people in there. I had to work. The audience, so the jokes that I usually get an 8 or a 9, I was getting 3s and 4s of laughter. But I knew that.
I was thinking in terms of girls when he said that.
I was working. You can't break your pace. You keep going, just knowing that you're about to hit them with a joke that usually gets a 9 or an 8 in laughter, and you're gonna get a 3 or 4 because the room is 1,000 degrees and they've been in there for 3 hours watching a guy guess what number they're thinking of, right?
Oh my God.
And the chairs are those chairs you can get comfortable, so they're all like this, and their head is behind, and there's nothing worse than a good, comfortable chair for comedy. I did the show. I can't explain to you, my entire suit
Drenched.
and everything was drenched. Now we get out. There was some hellos. I bring a bunch of yarmulkes. I give it to whoever says hi to me. And thank you, my mom. Here's a cameo you did. We love you. This, my wife. Ba, chi, cha, cha. We get upstairs. We're about to go. And some guy starts heading towards us. And I knew it was not a Mashiach energy moment. The guy looked like he was in his 9th trimester of pregnancy. He probably has been eating at that program nonstop. He had a cigar, he had a big fat lit cigar because they have a cigar bar too that's in this thing. And he's heading towards us. I keep an eye on Leo. Leo's in the car now. He didn't see this happen. I'm like, oh my God, thank Baruch Hashem, Leo didn't see this. Leo gets in the car. This guy's heading towards us. And he's like, hey, I just want to tell you something about your show. And I said, oh, this is definitely not Mashiach energy. I got in, I go, we have to run, we're going. And I tell the driver, go. The guy opens the door. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of like when the canine unit comes and the cop opens the door and the dog just jumps out and runs around to the thing. Leo's door opened so fast and he ran around. And Leo now, you've seen Leo.
Not in person, but he's a big guy.
He's big, his muscles, and it's all this hair thicker than yours. And his shirt was opened with a tattoo of an M right here. Okay? And he's heading towards this guy. And the guy goes, don't hit me, like this.
Oh my God.
Leo prompts himself in between the door, me, and says to the guy, step away from my husband and the door, right? And now I'm upset because Leo's upset. So now I get out of the car and start screaming at this guy. Get away from the guy. And he had what to tell me about his show. His big chachma, his big thing was that, it's a chutzpah that you're performing in front of a frum crowd and talking about a colonoscopy.
Wow.
When they all know you're gay. That was his big, that was where he was going to teach me that I'm doing the wrong thing. He didn't mention that my husband, but that I'm talking about a colonoscopy. Fishtasis is where he went. Anyway, but now it's like, and I'm also making sure this doesn't escalate. I grab Leo's shirt, go get back in the car. It was not going to go where you think it's going to go. I also know, keep in mind, there's cameras. We're not going to hit this guy, but we need to get out of this situation before people come with cameras. And I start screaming at him, you're this, you're that. Anyway, I got my phone, I took a picture of him. Next day, we're driving to the to the airport. And Leo posts a picture and goes, we were harassed by this guy and he was just miserable. Within 39 seconds, everyone, there were 12 to 20 in 39 seconds, who he is, where he lives, and that he's a big asshole. It was officially, it was smach. They paskin that this is here, certificate. This is a full-blown
From the Bezdin asshole.
From the Bezdin, from everybody. This is everybody confirmed it. Where he went and then I'm not gonna mention his name. It's not worth it. And by the way, it's on brand for him. It's on brand for him. And so funny. So we're in the car now. Leo's raging.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, there's no Xanax for this. There's no Xanax isn't gonna calm this down. But this is the night. He's raging, you know? He's in there, we're never doing a Pesach program again, this and that. I go, what are you gonna do? I should have punched him, I should have put him in a headlock. I go, and then what? The police would have come, but Leo speaks Spanish fluently. I go, so Leo goes, I would explain to the cops that he's an asshole. I go, yeah, and then you'd be in jail, and then what? And Leo goes to me, I'd have called Orthodox. That's what I would have done.
From Whites in Luxembourg?
From Whites in Luxembourg.
There was asbestos in the jail?
There was, Whites in Luxembourg, which is the law firm that sponsors and collaborates on our podcast that you are sitting on.
Oh, thank you. I know Arthur's my good friend's uncle.
Who's your uncle?
No, my good friend.
Yeah.
Is his nephew.
Name?
His name is Jesse Arbesfeld.
Okay. So Arthur Luxembourg and Whites in Luxembourg is a sponsor of our podcast.
Oh, wow.
Arthur Luxembourg is a close friend of ours. His wife, Randy, listens to the podcast to report to him what we talk about. They are the law firm that not only does well, they do good. They're very philanthropic. WhitesLux.com. Also, A&H Provisions. Have you ever heard of A&H Provisions? The hot dogs.
The hot dogs, that's yeah.
Glatt
Seth.
kosher.
Glatt kosher
The best.
provisions, unbelievable. Next level of kosher. And if you put my name in the promo, it's Modi, MODI, and you get 30% off your first order. Best Glatt kosher meats, and their website is kosherdogs.net. People that listen to this show who aren't Jewish tell me that because they hear us they've been ordering it and they love it, and we thank our two sponsors. That's our Aleinu. Now we're like done with the podcast, so we're dismounting. So
Okay. You don't say like the Chabad thing after Elena.
with that, yeah, okay, that one.
No, how do the Chabad like Utsu, Eitza, Vis,
Okay. So we're gonna wrap it up. I'm so happy you're able to come here.
Thank you so
with
much
your
for
big
having me.
schedule. Tell everybody where your camera's there. Tell everybody where they can see you and hear you and come and support you and blank, 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 and go for it.
Follow me on Dovie Neuburger on Instagram.
Spell it out. Who the hell knows?
DOVINEUBURGER. I got a bunch of shows coming up in May in the 5 towns. I'm doing a show for the OU Golf Day. That's May 19th. I don't know if it dropped officially yet, but dropping now. I'll have a cheese store show in June, also in the 5 towns. I don't know if I could say there's things in the work. There's a couple mini tours with some Jewish organizations, very exciting things coming to pay attention, LA and Chicago and South Florida for upcoming dates at Dovie Neuburger on Instagram.
Dovie Neuburger on Instagram. Instagram, I love your Instagram. Keep it up. It's
Thank
so
you so
good.
much.
We are on tour too. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be airing before the tour. We're going to be in Warsaw on the 14th of May. We're going to be in Manchester on the 15th, and we have Munich and Frankfurt on the 17th and 18th of May. We have in Geneva and Antwerp, the 21st and 22nd is the Antwerp shows. All of these shows are in May. Everything's on modilive.com. We also have a not sleepaway, laugh away camp series, and that's on the website as well. Thank you very much to our sponsors. The store, by the time this airs, will have the Mashiach Energy yarmulkes and Mashiach Energy hats, and the shirts and everything are there. Wear them. Discuss Mashiach. You should always be talking about Mashiach. I talked about having Omer Shem Tov on the podcast, and we manifested it on May 28th, Bezrat Hashem, with the help and will of God. Omer Shem Tov, the former hostage, will be doing a live show with us at the Stryker Center, Temple Emmanuel Stryker Center. It's the seats are selling out. It went on sale 2 days ago. I think like half of it's already gone. It's 900 seats. So get your tickets to that, or find out if there's going to be a live link.
That's right. On your Instagram. Everything's there.
Everything's on my Instagram, modi_live.com.
And shout out to Art in Flowers, who's doing 2 beautiful all yellow flower arrangements
Well, we're
for
paying
us.
for it.
But she's also.
But we couldn't be happy to be paying for it. She deserved it. It's Mashiach energy. I'm sorry. I couldn't be happy to be paying for it. It's going to be a beautiful stage. It's going to be a gorgeous stage. It's going to be an amazing event. My mom will be there.
Is that yellow for like?
Oh, hold on. If you want to try that again, you can cut that
No,
if you
it's
want.
fine. Leave it. No, it's fine.
I think leave it. I think it's great.
It's fine.
They
Thank
did-
you, Marta. We love you.
Thank you, Motek. Your flowers were amazing. On the 100th episode, we did it at the 92nd Street Y. And again, everybody, keep laughing. Create Mashiach energy. Bring your friends to a comedy show. Be the friend that brings the friends to the comedy show. That makes Mashiach energy. And soon we'll all be in a messianic era and laughing and having an amazing time. Thank you all very much.
Bye.